Hello, are you guys ready for this? This is kombucha. This flavor right now, this is plum clot. I just put some plum clots in it. Have you ever heard of a plum clot? It's where they cross a plum and apricot. And that isn't super fertile, so they cross that plum clot back with a plum, and then they get, or an apricot, and then they get more fertile trees out of it. But it's very interesting. You can actually grow a plum and an apricot on the same tree because they are part of the stone fruit family. So it's very interesting. But anyhow, that's just one of the various flavors that you can make. I am going to show you how to make the base of the kombucha, which is very easy to make and maintain because it's not finicky. It's not hard to do, and it takes very little time. And if you forget about it for a long while, it's probably still good. If you forget about it a long while, it could make vinegar, which is good in another way. So, what is kombucha? Kombucha is like like a colony of bacteria, fungus, maybe it's like a mushroom type thing. It's like a glob that I'll show you in a minute that sits on top of a tea base with sugar, and it eats the sugar and ferments with with green tea or black tea. Watermelon? Yes, I'll cut up some watermelon. It ferments with that, and it makes a slightly alcohol beverage but it's safe enough for kids to eat, to drink, and also it's debatable, but pregnant women can go ahead and drink it as well. I'm pregnant right now. Okay guys, I've lost some of you, I think. Why in the world would you want to use a blobby and drink yeast bacteria type of stuff in the first place? Sounds disgusting, but guess what? It's very good for your gut, and taking care of your gut is very important. We are learning more and more about the problems that we're having because our gut microbiome is messed up. Our gut actually produces most of our serotonin that we have. If you think about that, and it houses a lot of your 70% of your immune system cells are right there at your gut. Your gut is very important. That's why a lot of people tote after non-Roundup type of foods, like organic foods, because even though there are chemicals sprayed on organic stuff too, I mean, you can find, maybe, hopefully, if you garden yourself, or if you have access to farmer's market, that you can talk with the people and say, hey, is there any spray ever on these plants of any kind, organic or not organic, that you can have. So why so important? Our gut is extremely important to our health. More and more evidence is proving that. So we want to support good, healthy bacteria in our gut, and that's what the kombucha can do for us. It can give us some strengths. We can't have watermelon quite yet. You found Rhino too. Rhino was missing, wasn't he? Mr. Rhino was missing for a long time, and he found him today.
No, he wasn't.
That's his favorite stuffed animal. Okay, so it's very easy. We're going to heat up some water with some green tea in it. Put green tea and some sugar. So usually I use just some Florida crystals of organic cane sugar, but I'm going to try coconut sugar this time. I'm not promoting coconut sugar. I don't know much about it, and it's still sugar. So, and I also don't know if it's good to use on the kombucha. I know that honey is not good, and this is why. Honey's not good for your kombucha bacteria, yeast thing, because honey is antibacterial and antimicrobial. Honey is amazing. Honey is beautiful. but it can weaken your glob, your SCOBY. That's what we call a SCOBY. My SCOBY's name is Slim. Some people name their SCOBYs. I was given the advice to name it, so we named it Slim. Okay, so I just have about 4 cups of water boiling, give or take. It doesn't matter that much. And then we're gonna get the tea bags out. Okay, I'm gonna use the organic tea bags, green tea, and we're gonna do 4 of them for that much water. And this is a 1/2 gallon jar. So you want this jar. You also want a fabric covering for your jar. I'm gonna actually put this on because I don't want any flies to get in, because we've got flies in our house. So I don't want any flies to get in, so I'm just gonna cover it up like that. And then you tie it on. But, so we're gonna open these tea bags, put them in there, and we can wait till the water's boiling to do that. And I'm gonna put a cup of sugar. So you can do a cup. I've done a 3/4 cup, which 3/4 cup seems fine as well. You guys, if you like pop, I enjoy drinking pop. I don't drink pop, but I like the fizziness of pop in my mouth. I like that fizziness. And kombucha has that fizziness naturally. So, win-win. So this water, I just put the coconut sugar in the water. So it might be a kind of interesting, an interesting kombucha this time. But and I'm gonna go ahead and wait. It doesn't have to be boiling. It just has to be hot enough that you feel like you can brew the tea. And so as soon as it's hot enough that I feel like I can brew it, I'll go ahead and put the packets in. Okay, you might not be convinced yet that you actually want to do this, but you might be thinking to yourself, how in the world can I get a SCOBY myself? So, now that it is so popular, you could probably easily find somebody that has a SCOBY themselves, and they can split it like a pancake. It can be split. Or, I have let some of the mixture, like this, I have let some of the mixture sit in a jar, and a little SCOBY will start to form out of just the liquid, and a little SCOBY will start to form on the top of the water. Now, with that, I had made another tea and sugar, and with that tiny, tiny little SCOBY, I started making myself another SCOBY. So now I'm gonna have 2 SCOBYs. I could even pancake the one and to make it bigger. Pancake the one because that one's super large already, so it can be separated. I think that our liquid's almost done. I hear it rumbling. Tastes good. All right, I'll wait a little longer. Okay, that's hot enough in my opinion. I'll go ahead and turn off the burner. So very, very important, we want to let that mixture cool all the way down, all the way to room temperature, so that we don't fry our SCOBY. We don't want to fry our SCOBY. It's sensitive to heat. So just let it cool all the way down, and then we will add it to there, and then we'll add more water. And that's basically it, guys. So let's get it done. A quick snippet break. I've got an iron pan here. So some of you might think, oh, what's the deal with all these cast iron skillets and blah, blah, blah. Stainless steel and cast iron are said to be the least toxic of pans to use. It's important when you're starting to learn about toxins and the overload of our bodies that has overwhelmed us. You start to learn, okay, I need to detoxify my home and everything. And what I do is I just wash this. You don't wash it with soap. All you do is you wash it with this. I use a steel brush. Wash it with a steel brush, a steel like pad, or whatever. And then I just put a little bit of olive oil. I dry it and then I put a little bit of olive oil on it. You could also heat it to dry it. But what you don't want is you don't want to just wash it and just sit it out, because it'll rust and it will look like super old, but it's not old. And you can take any old rusty looking cast iron pan and just scrub it good with with a steel brush, and then re-grease it. It's fine. Alive again. And a lot of people are deficient in iron, and this actually can give a body some extra iron. They have really solved a lot of issues with iron deficiencies and anemia in third world countries and poverty-stricken people, because of the promotion of the use of cast iron skillets. All right, I have a feeling that my SCOBY is gonna be mad at me because this liquid is so dark because of the sugars. The coconut sugar is so abnormal to put in here. But I think it'll forgive me.
I don't want to eat it. Yeah.
So that tea is also very health supportive, and I want to talk to you about that. Then you fill the rest up with water. You could do distilled water if you want to, or you could do, I've just done faucet water and it's been okay. So, okay, and all you do is put this on, and then you forget about it for about 7 to 10 days, 5, 10. You can test it. There's some pH strips that you can buy, or you can just taste it a little bit, and then you can just see, okay, is it to a point where you like it? It should taste a little bit fermented. So I'm gonna wait for 10 days. The longer you wait, the more sugar is absorbed and taken up by the SCOBY and eaten and used for energy. So the more you wait, the better for you, basically, for the health benefits. So you could also use black tea if you want to, or a combination of the two. What are you doing, Darian?
I wonder what these are.
You're gonna eat the black olives? Daddy hates olives.
Okay.
I just stick it in my pantry. I think just kind of away from the light is probably a little better. And I forget about it. Okay guys, probably more than 10 days have passed and I haven't checked this yet, but you can do the kombucha for 7 to 10 days or more. It just gets more acidic as it sits. And so I'm just gonna push this aside. I am going to, and it doesn't look like it's, I don't think it's been too angry at me, but I'm going to put this in and see. This is Kombucha Test Kit. So yeah, I'm using these test strips, but I don't use them every time. And you can see the acidity. So I don't know really where that ranks, maybe there. I'm not sure. Maybe there. Anyhow, I don't use these test strips every time because I've just gotten used to making it, you know, and if some batches come out more sour than others, it really doesn't bother me. My question is if it hated me for the coconut sugar that I used, and I don't even know if the coconut sugar is gonna taste very well in it. So I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna have to put down the camera, but I'm gonna take out the SCOBY and I'm gonna put it in a dish, and I'm gonna leave a little bit of liquid in there, about a cup of liquid. And then I'm gonna go ahead and funnel them into these jars. This funnel happens to be the most handy funnel to use. So they are filled, and usually before I fill them, I put a little fruit on the bottom. But this time I'm going to just use hibiscus flower. I love hibiscus flowers. There's a lot of antioxidants and medicinal properties to it. You can find that online. The flavor you can often find at the stores. So I really enjoy using it. I wonder how it's gonna taste with the coconut sugar. We'll see. So I put about 1.5 tablespoons of the flour in there. And it'll start to sink down, and pretty soon the beverage will look a lot redder. So you just seal the top, and then you put it in your cupboard for a day or two. And then you put it in the refrigerator or pop and enjoy. So we will see what it tastes like. Okay guys, we put it in the refrigerator. We let it set for 2 days, just in the cabinet. Put it in the refrigerator, and I'm going to taste test it now to see if the coconut sugar liked, or if I like the coconut sugar in this. I'm not sure that I'm really gonna use coconut sugar again, but thought I'd give it a try.
Mom, can you show me
Okay, here we go.
Can you show me how? No. Can you show me how? Mommy, can I have some of that?
I don't really like this batch. I probably won't use coconut sugar again. I usually like to flavor it with ginger and hibiscus. Oh, this is okay. I didn't really like it. All my other ones I like. All right, thanks for watching. That was a disaster. But yeah, just use regular Florida Crystals organic for your kombucha. Say kombucha, yay yay.
Kombucha.
Kombucha. I love you, baby. Say kombucha.